Next would be Representative Paulo Henry Marcoleta. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to know the status of the Maharlika Investment Fund because for the last 2 years, the President did not make any mention about the MIF in his SONAs. And since Congress has the innate power of innate oversight function, I believe we ought to know the status of the Maharlika Investment Fund. And I believe you have also been endowed with repertorial requirements. And what mechanisms are in place to ensure the transparency of these multi-million investments that were made? I believe early this year there were investments made already by the Maharlika Investment Fund.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it is true that we report to Congress yearly. I think there are documents submitted to Congress to provide status with regard to the investments of Maharlika. Essentially, Maharlika has invested in 2 projects. One is NGCP, 20% of 2 board seats in NGCP, roughly 20 billion pesos. And another is in a mining, Makilala Mining, and that's how much? A bridge loan right now of roughly $10 million. The balance, there's 75 billion available. The balance is with Treasury. So it's earning interest on its investment in Treasury bonds. It has provided dividends to the national government of roughly 2.4 billion, if I recall, or 1.4 billion in dividends to the national government.
Thank you, Madam.
There is a paper submitted to Congress as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair,
yes.
Secretary. And since the Maharlika Investment Fund is an additional source of revenue, can we tap into this fund to fund proper programs? Halimbawa po, yung pong binanggit ni Congressman Lian kanina to reduce the VAT from 12 to 10%. At meron din pong mga panukala dito na inihain kami, mga panukalang batas na kung pwede po yung kuryente na binabayad ng consumers ay yung VAT na pinapataw sa kuryente ay kung maaari ay i-waive na din. Pwede po kayang dito kunin sa Maharlika Investment Fund?
Yung Maharlika Investment, para sa investment, ang pwede niyang gawin, halimbawa, I know it is considering investing in the grid operations, halimbawa sa Mindoro o yung mga spag areas na walang napakalang kuryente, doon tumitingin ang Maharlika Investment Fund, the possibility of investing there. So energy, physical infrastructure, food and agriculture modernization, these are the themes that Maharlika is looking into. And a few more.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Secretary. My number 2 question is directed to DBM Secretary. During last week's briefing by the Committee on Public Accounts with the DPWH, in their presentation, they related to us that there have been significant budget cuts in foreign-assisted projects. And these foreign-assisted projects composed mainly of infrastructure flagship projects, yung mga importanteng mga infrastructure projects ng ating bansa. In 2023, there is an 88% budget cut. From 70 billion, naging 7.9 billion na lang po ang budget for foreign-assisted projects. In 2024, 100% budget cut. So wala pong nailaan sa foreign-assisted projects. At ngayong nitong 2025, 67% budget cut. From 70 billion, naging 23 billion na lang po ang inilaan sa foreign-assisted projects. Now, Madam Chair and Madam Secretary, I'd like to know on the long-term implication of this continued defunding of these foreign-assisted projects. Hindi po ba tayo nape-penalize ng ating mga international partners pag hindi po tayo nagbabayad? At yung pong, ang alam ko po kasi, itong mga foreign-assisted projects are being defunded and they go to unprogrammed allocation ng ilang district congressmen. Ano po bang mas mahalaga sa atin, yung pong mga flagship projects na malalaki na mas maraming nakikinabang o yung mga pet projects po, local pet projects po ng mga district congs? So yung gusto kong malaman yung implication kung patuloy pong i-defund itong mga foreign assisted projects po natin.
Madam Chair, tama po kayo. Pag ma-defund po yung ating mga foreign assisted projects, magkakaroon po ng delay dito sa ating mga proyekto. And meron din po tayong binabayaran na commitment fees. Pag tayo po ay hindi nakakapagbayad on time nung
Magkano
mga
po yung commitment fees?
natin. Kunin ko lang po yung exact number.
Hindi po ba tayo on the losing end pag ganyan po we continue to pay penalties for defaults or non-payment of these contracts?
Meron po, we're just looking at that. Sorry,
Yes, the commitment fees in 2024 is roughly $16.8 million, 962 million pesos.
Ang binayad po natin.
Commitment fees due to delay.
Opo. Ano po kayang protective mechanisms in place, Madam Secretary, para masigurado natin na hindi po tayo ganitong natatalo sa hindi po pagbabayad ng mga multi-year contracts na ito. Samantalang ito naman po ay dumaan sa iba't ibang level ng approval sa mga sangay ng gobyerno. Ano po kayang magagawa natin para hindi po magpatuloy yung ganitong trend?
Well, unang-una, kung ang tinukoy kanina ay tungkol sa unprogrammed appropriations, hindi na dapat gawin ng Kongreso yung paglipat ng foreign assisted projects mula sa program sa unprogram. Dahil unang-una, nade-delay yung mga project, nagbabayad tayo ng commitment fees, at lumalaki ang deficit ng ating pamahalaan. So yun ang unang-una. Pangalawa, maraming nade-delay because also of the pandemic. May nakaraan 2 taon. Nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic. No? So, budget execution is also important as far as the executive is concerned. Nasiguraduhin before we borrow money, we make sure that the project is can be implemented properly.
Thank you po,
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair. Thank you for the enlightenment po. At sana po, with the new stewardship of our chairperson, sana po ay hindi po mangyari ito sa 20th Congress dahil tayo po ang kawawa kung nagbabayad po tayo ng mga commitment fees sa mga project na dinedelay dahil hindi po natin binabayaran ito at napupunta po sa mga maliliit lamang na mga proyekto. Salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.